Hey everybody, how you doing this evening? It's Wednesday, episode 5, Learn Talk. Unfortunately, we were kind of going to have oh, come on, brain, work. We're going to have DV Recoil on so that we could talk about medical cannabis and see if we get some other people. Unfortunately, uh, Recoil is ill at the moment, and he's not going to be able to join us tonight. So I'm out here on my own. I'm hoping maybe we get somebody that can hop in here and in the chat with me, and we'll be able to discuss some of these things that we're coming across. Otherwise, everybody's listening to me tonight. I know you love the voice. So, what we're going to do is, I'm going to minimize that. And I have not checked to see if my live scene is going to go right or not. So let's check it and see. Of course not. Let me see what I can do here. That's not the one I want to show first. Go away, but looks like we got it. Okay, cool. All right. So we got this up. Okay. Apologies. Scrambling at the last minute to redo the show. I've just had to come up with some quick stuff that we can discuss for a little while. Some of it, of course, is going to be irritating. Some of it's going to be some good stuff. But we're going to delve into a few things that, um, pertains directly to veterans. I have not, again, like I said, didn't have a lot of time to put something together. Everything switched at the last second. So where we're going to be here is, why is this? Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, so we're going to start here. More housing money coming as Pentagon ponders a fix for military family hunger. Where do I begin? I mean, I'm not even going to pull the pay scales up. It's just kind of absurd. Oh, somebody's on. Hey, thank you. Glad to have you. Uh, they're going to increase housing allowance and temporary lodging reimbursements to families as it grapples with food insecurity during the hard economic times caused by COVID 19. Well, it's more than COVID 19 that's causing problems. But of course, this is the government. We can't be honest. I don't know about you, but I've seen the price of gas go up around where I'm at. And I'm pretty sure it is the same way everywhere else. So he says, come up with a new strategy within 3 months to help hungry service members and their dependents. In the meantime, military leaders will get an economic security toolkit on how to identify troops experiencing food insecurity. Okay. Here's a thought. Just a thought. One, control the freaking prices in the commissary. Seriously. Okay? Where I'm at, I get some things that are quite a bit less expensive. Really do. Than shopping on the economy. I am 100% disabled vet. I have access to the military, to the installations, or bases nearby. Control the price of gasoline. Okay. The federal government, AFES, and NEX buys their fuel on an annual basis at a firm price. Don't believe me? Look it up. Okay. They get a solid price for that no matter what. Here's the problem. It doesn't matter what the price is that they're paying. They're going to charge you what it is off base or off post to get that fuel. So let's say they're paying $2.20 a gallon. All right. Well, it's $3.10 off gallon. They're still going to pay that same price, but they're going to charge you that $3.10 or close to it. See how that works? They're going to just manipulate it back and forth instead of keeping it at what it should be, what they're paying for it. Maybe a little profit, of course. We're not against a little profit. But let's be realistic. The price of fuel off base or off post has taxes on it. In some places, very substantial taxes. They're not paying those taxes. If you're in someplace like California where what, 3/4 of your gallon of gas is taxed, so they're paying two and change for it and you're paying $5. I mean, come on. Let's be realistic about this. They have the power to do this. They don't want to. Almighty dollar speaks. If you don't think the government's in for making a profit at times, you're wrong. Okay? Now, granted, AAFES as a whole is a non-appropriated fund organization, but their higher-ups are military, active duty, and civil service that are in the GS scale. They're not wage grade. Okay? They are actually getting government-funded money for those positions. Do they have to make enough money to employ all the non-appropriated fund people? Yes. No question about it. But when you can go to Walmart Marketplace and pay less for some things that are in the commissary, there's a problem. Hands down. Do these people need more money? More than likely. Okay, let's be clear on this. When you stop and figure out how much some of these lower, especially the lower enlisted, I know I was one, I had 2 kids and I was married at the time. We were lucky to make it to the end of the month with food and gas after we paid all our bills and we lived on base. So it can be an issue for a lot of people. I know firsthand. What can they do about it? Well, let's be honest. They can give them a bigger stipend for money. They can control the costs in the commissary and with AAFES. Oh, someone else watching? Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining the channel. Appreciate having you here. What we have to do as a whole is get on these people, okay? Your senior leaders, your military, your senior NCOs, your officers, you got to look out for these soldiers, the sailors, airmen, Marines. I mean, a lot of people think they get this money and they don't have to pay a bunch of money out. Well, when you have a family, when you're married and you have children, yes, you do. Now, again, some things are on a sliding scale. Child care, sliding scale if you use the child development centers, okay? But that's figuring at some level that your spouse works. If your spouse can find a job, okay? There's a whole lot of variables involved. Whether or not these senior leaders, and sometimes I use this term very, very loosely, may or may not be in here to really honestly help. Okay, I've seen some things that just really, really suck. Hopefully, they're going to get this under control. These locations that have privatized military housing, love this. You don't have to be a veteran, military member, or even a dependent to live on some of these places because of how the housing's set up. Scary thought. Scary, scary thought. But you still have to abide by military regulations, whatever the base housing office puts out. And, oh wait, let me think. Check the prices for the same type of property. It is stupid. Again, most of these facilities were built 20, 30, 40 years ago. Why are they trying to charge you $1,700, to $2,000 for rent of a place that's been paid for? I don't get it. I really don't get it. And let's not get into the nightmares of these companies not taking care of the properties like they're supposed to. That's a whole separate issue. So whether or not these wonderful leaders will actually accomplish something in the next 3 months remains to be seen. But in the meantime, again, let's think about this. What time of year is this? It's November. We're in the middle of November. And they've got a 3-month deadline for this. So these members of the military are going to go through Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and may not have the money to put food on the table. Pretty sure I'm not the only one that has an issue with this. This could be done quickly. There are things that could be changed to eliminate a lot of these problems. Okay? We'll see how it all plays out. Good news story. Remains of U.S. airmen shot down over Romania during World War II has been identified. Story out of Boston from the Associated Press. Pardon me. An airman from Massachusetts who was shot down over Romania during World War II has been accounted for. U.S. Army Air Forces Staff Sergeant Charles G. McMacken, 26, was accounted for in August, according to a statement by a Defense POW MIA accounting agency. Those people do some outstanding work, and they don't get enough recognition. But they held off until Wednesday because they took them that long to find family members and to brief them on the situation. He was the bombardier on a B-24 Liberator that participated in Operation Tidal Wave August 1st, 1943, which was a massive bombing mission against the oil fields and refineries. I'm going to hack the name. Polestai, whatever, Romania, which was considered crucial to the Nazi war effort. Makes sense. They crashed after ending the anti-aircraft fire, and they, Lord knows what happened to their bodies in the meantime. They couldn't be identified, but they were buried in a cemetery in Romania and later moved to a cemetery in Belgium. The remains were exhumed in 2017 and sent to Offutt Air Force Base in Nebraska for examination and identification. Just imagine, it took them years to make this happen, to find out who this airman was. But they made it happen. It took everything, probably every bit of it, to find out who they are. The people that work there do everything in their power. They go above and beyond to find out who this unidentified individual is, and then to find any family and make sure that they're, put at rest someplace that they will, stay for ever, as far as we know at this point. But he's to be buried April 14th in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. Welcome home. And we thank you for your sacrifice. Let me see what else we got. See, we don't have a lot of great news today. I'm sorry. I apologize for this. And here we go. I don't care where you sit on this topic. It's been so politicized. It's absurd. It honestly, truly has. Think about this. You have volunteered your life, your energy, your sanity in some cases, to protect this country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. And you're being told that if you don't take a vaccine, which is still questionable in some places, depending on who you talk to, you're going to get discharged. Okay? They're not going to try and ruin your career, but they don't want you to be in here. Here's the problem I'm having with this. One, all right, I got two separate issues. One, I remember, hey, welcome to the channel. Appreciate having you here. First off, when you join the military, you get lined up and stuck and shot and prodded, everything. I don't hear anybody whining and complaining about that shit. Okay? So, from that perspective, shut up and get your shot. You've been ordered to, do it. That's your job. That's what you agreed to. We're the guinea pigs. We always have been. Okay? Blue Light brought it up. I mean, the Army, the government as a whole, uses military members as guinea pigs. Yet we were not the first ones that were tested on this vaccine, which is kind of surprising, to be honest with you. But in the military, you're given an order. It's legal, it's ethical, and it is moral in this case, as far as I can tell. Shut up and execute. Okay? That's what you're supposed to do. I mean, I didn't hear anybody whining and complaining about getting, all their shots except for the, oh my God, I'm going to faint. Shut up. Stand up. Get moving. Don't flinch. First time I was in, I got the shots with the air guns. Watched some dude get his arm sliced open because he did this. Stupid motherfucker. Go get your fucking shots. It hasn't, there have been adverse reactions. People, unfortunately, have passed away because they've gotten it. I understand this. But there's not a medication on the planet that I'm aware of that has not caused death in somebody except for maybe aspirin. Unless you overdosed on it. The other side of this coin is fairly simple as well. It's a choice. Now, I don't remember having much of a choice when I was in the military. Now, I'm going back 20 odd years, okay? I don't remember being given a choice to do shit. I've been given an order. Legal, ethical, moral. I'm out. I'm gone. I'm doing what I got to do. That's what it is. I'm a civilian now. I have a choice. Okay? Do I get it or do I not get it? That's a personal preference. Okay? Let's go with a third option or a third item here. Okay? I want you to go look up the definition of a pandemic because it's over. There is no pandemic any longer. It's burned. From a definition of pandemic, it has burned itself out. Are we looking at, variants of it? Yes. But we have that with the flu and the common cold, don't we? I mean, if we could cure the common cold, that would be great. Here's the problem. It mutates every year. Every year. The flu. Every year. There are some base versions of it that they can, give you the shot for, but there's other variants that you can get, and guess what happens? You're going to get sick. Do what you got to do for yourself. But if you're a member of the military and you've been given an order, I'm sorry. I had to get freaking stuck with anthrax vaccinations. Okay? I hated that shit. My eyes burned. I had adverse reactions to it. I still got them. Did I want them? Not on your fucking life. The probability of me actually coming in contact with anthrax at that point in time was 5%. Okay? Yes, the probability of you coming across somebody that has COVID nowadays is more than 5%. Got it. Wash your hands. If you are going to a crowded area, wear a mask if you're not vaccinated. Carry hand sanitizer. Not that difficult, people. I mean, seriously. We damn near eradicated the flu last year because nobody was going around or doing anything because we were all fucking locked down. Why? Because everybody was home. Nobody was going out. There weren't parties. There weren't concerts. Nobody's going out to dinner. We'll get it back. It'll come back soon enough. No question about it. But, You do what you're supposed to do. You do what you're told to do. That's all there is to it. Pretty simple. Oh, don't tell me my headset's going out again. All right. Next story here. I started reading this one. It irritates me. Air Force. This is just from the Air Force. And I think Air Force and Space Force. Nearly half in a survey saw abuse or violence in the service. Really? Who would have thought that happens? Let's say we put a bunch of trained killers, which we all are, in an area, confine them, tempers are going to heat up. Shit's going to go south, okay? Let's see. Of the personnel who responded to the survey said they've experienced some type of mental or physical abuse in the past 2 years, ranging from workplace bullying to hazing to rape or murder, according to the report released on Tuesday. Now, let's be honest. We've hazed people. You know, go to the motor pool, get me some blinker fluid. Take the garbage bags, get me an exhaust sample from the Humvee or the track or whatever else need to be turned in. I don't think that's bullying, and I don't think that's a severe form of hazing. Now, some of these idiots take it too far. But here's the problem. One, it either doesn't go reported, okay, and they're just admitting it because this is a survey that was anonymous, so they can't track him down, whatever. So it was never reported. Or two, it was reported, and it was swept under the rug, okay, because commanders and senior enlisted don't want to do the paperwork. They don't want to have to go through the stupidity because one of their soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, defenders have, done something beyond stupid. Now, rape and murder. Rape should never happen in our military. Never. This is unconscionable. There is no good reason ever for rape. And to do this to a fellow service member, I think is you should be punished at the highest degree every single time if convicted. Okay? I don't think you should ever walk the streets again as a free person. Such is my opinion. What is done to another member of our military, I don't care whether you're male or female, trans, gay, straight, whatever, black, brown, purple, orange, green, blue, fuchsia, never, ever. Why this is happening, and unfortunately happening on a regular basis, we may never know. I can't tell you whether it's a mental issue with some of these people, whether it's their upbringing or what. I don't know. And it really just is beyond unacceptable. Okay? Let's continue the story here. Of the roughly 68,000 active duty reserve civilians who responded to the survey, nearly 2/3 of women and 48% of men described incidents of what the Air Force called interpersonal violence. Do you know what we call interpersonal violence on the outside of the frickin' fence line? Anybody? Domestic violence. Pretty sure that's, interpersonal violence. It sounds so soft. interpersonal communications have gone awry. You know, a little interpersonal. Fuck you. It's domestic. It is domestic abuse. It is unacceptable. Again, never should be happening. You got a door. Walk the fuck out. Okay? I don't care. You have a way to leave. If you're scared for your life, wait till they leave. You go to work, whatever. Once you're away from them, go and report it. Get away from them. Okay? Be safe. Your safety is number one. How do I end every show? And Recoil lets me end most of his. Take care of yourself. Rule number one. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. And here we go. Most say they never reported it to commanders or law enforcement. Why? I love him or I love her. They didn't mean it. They can change. I can change them. No, you can't. No, sadly, you cannot. Unfortunately, as history shows, the data shows, don't believe me, look it up, FBI crime database, it gets worse. If it's not dealt with immediately, it gets worse. A lot of people do not get out of relationships in enough time, and it costs them their lives. Now, they're saying only about 10% of personnel, Air Force, military, and civilian, responded to the survey. That's 10%. Think about that. How fucked up is that? Because other people don't want to admit what has happened to them, or they're afraid. It's very, very sad. And as with most anything else, when you compare numbers from military, active duty military to civilian sector, they're almost always higher in the military. And there's less of us active duty in the military than there are everybody else. But the percentage numbers tend to be higher. I don't know why. I don't know how to stop it. But in a lot of cases, these people have been deployed, and they need to have gone through psychological screening repeatedly to find out whether or not they're suffering from PTSD or anything else. Hopefully someday we can find a better answer and be able to take care of these individuals. Even Congress is whining about it. And I say whining because it's Congress. They rarely ever get anything appropriate done. Speaking of reporters, Air Force leaders today have identified 81 harmful behaviors ranging from lewd jokes to belittling to spying, stalking, and more violent physical attacks. And they say workplace bullying was the most common complaint. Well, that's a subjective term. You know, a lot of people forget you got to respect the rank. You don't have to respect the person wearing it. But they're not taught this, of course. Most victims weren't satisfied with the support or help they got. Ooh, you think? The Army knows that pretty well, Fort Hood, talking to you. So, what do we do? I mean, seriously. Oh, the Air Force set up the Interpersonal Violence Task Force last year and concluded that support for victims at their home bases must be better coordinated and less confusing. All right, I haven't gone through any of these, but I would love for somebody to give me an idea. If you're Air Force and you've been through any of this and you reported it, I would love for you to tell me how it's confusing, other than you tell the military police, the SPs, whatever, or your commander or your senior NCOs what's going on. I don't need to know what the outcome was, keeping everything private, but where is it confusing other than I tell somebody in my command, or I tell somebody, I go to the OSI or I go to MPI or whatever, and I tell them, listen, this is what's happening to me, what yada yada yada, help me. How can I address this, do whatever. Where's that breakdown? Where is it becoming confusing, as they're saying? Because as far as I'm concerned, launch an investigation. If it's proven, some of it's readily noticeable, readily proven, get that individual out. Okay, get them out. If they're civilian, if they're the spousal member, get them out. If that's who the violent party is, get them out. If it's the service member, lock their fucking ass up and then get their spouse out. God forbid there are children involved in seeing all this. Oh, got a new viewer. Hi, welcome. Thanks for stopping by the channel. Appreciate you. I'm on a tangent tonight. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of good news, and the original show had to be modified at the last hour because my co-host, unfortunately, is ill and cannot partake. He can't help out here. So let's go to more stupidity. Apparently it's shameful. A new law tackles maternity care for female veterans. Now, I have not read this one, but this just came out yesterday. Department of Veteran Affairs will be able to invest more in maternity care for female veterans, and the federal government will be required to study the health of active duty and former service members who have had babies or are trying to get pregnant after Congress passed legislation on Tuesday. Okay. Stand by. I'm going to adjust here. The Protecting Moms Who Served Act passed by a House in a 414-9 vote, and now heading to President Joe Biden's signature, allows the VA to spend $15 million to improve coordination between VA hospitals that treat female veterans and the community facilities that provide their obstetrics care. VA hospitals do not do babies, in case you're wondering. You have to take them out on the economy, and they get seen by private practice or county hospital, things like that. The money is also intended for the VA to provide education and support for new moms, including childbirth and parenting classes, nutrition counseling, breast pumps, lactation support, according to the bill. Wait a minute. Here's another one that I'm throwing out to everybody. If you are a service member who was pregnant and had a child while you were active duty, whether you chose to leave the active duty or you stayed in, let me know if any of these things have actually happened for you. Were these offered to you? Because I know for a fact that some of them are offered on most military bases. Now, the VA does not normally do this that I'm aware of, so maybe this is something new for them, which is going to be interesting because they've got nowhere to put anybody to teach this shit. Okay? Nutrition counselors, they have. Childbirth and parenting classes, I'm pretty sure they don't. Well, that's going to fall under the mental health office probably. Breast pumps and lactation support. Don't know where they're going to put those people. Now, that is very important. It really, truly is. Please understand, not downplaying any of this, okay? Not at all. Most important to the bill's sponsor, Army National Guard veteran Senator Tammy Duckworth, however, the new law will require the Government Accountability Office to study the mental health of female veterans. A comprehensive look that Duckworth said is needed given the high U.S. maternity mortality rates compared with other developed countries. Okay. I don't know those numbers. I would suspect they're low, but, every time a mom dies from a preventable cause related to pregnancy or childbirth, it's shameful in the richest nation on the face of the earth. We need to make sure that we have comprehensive evaluation of how our growing mortality crisis among moms impacts most women veterans. Okay. So the most recent data from CDC, prevention and maternity mortality, the number of women who die during pregnancy or within 42 days of giving birth, that's a rather arbitrary number, 42. Shows a rate of 20.1 deaths per 100,000 in 2019. That's gone up 16% from 2018. Now, here's a question. What did they die of? It really kind of, I'm not seeing anything here. Is this something that was truly preventable, or did they, blood clots, things like that? Postpartum depression is a nasty, nasty thing. It ranks right up there with PTSD. But it needs to be, addressed. I agree. And the question is why is this happening? So let's see, what else do I have for us today? This is the last one I found so far. We can do a little search. 5 assholes convicted of stealing veteran Social Security benefits. Oh, look, Florida man. I was born in Florida. I was raised in Fort Lauderdale. I don't know these assholes, but, it took them long enough. They were able to get $1.8 million in veteran and Social Security benefits. Conspiracy to commit fraud. They're found guilty after an 8-day trial. They'll be sentenced in January. One guy the second day of trial pled guilty. 2 other pled guilty before the trial. And then 2 other men suspected of participating in the fraud haven't been captured. So from 2012 to 2017, they attempted to redirect $1.8 million in benefits for more than 100 disabled veterans and Social Security beneficiaries. What kind of piece of shit does that? I'm going off on a tangent. USA. Yeah, that's what it is, right? String these motherfuckers up by their toenails. Let them hang until they're dead. There's a special place in hell if you believe in that for these kinds of fucking assholes. They forged documents, opened up bank accounts. Somehow they got the passwords and information. They were able to transfer the monies and stuff over. Funds were withdrawn from ATMs and banks throughout South Florida and Georgia. And, oh, look, the architects of the scheme were in Jamaica. Good luck getting those bastards, because I'm pretty sure that's where the other 2 are. I can't seriously, these people need to freaking be strung up. They really do. Hanging by their toes. I mean, make an example out of these people, because examples have gone by the wayside. You know, this is a white collar crime. Yeah, technically it is a white collar crime. Treat them like they murdered somebody and watch what happens. What about all these people? All these veterans, and since also Social Security benefits, probably the elderly. Okay, what happened to them? Are they going to get their money back? No, they're not. And this went on for 5 years. I got a problem with that. Go figure. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have run out of stories at the moment. I don't know what else to tell anybody. But again, you know, be looking for the news story of when this airman, Staff Sergeant Charles G. McMacken was going to be interned. They're saying April 14th in Chestnut Hill. I'm sure there'll be a report, and we'll pick that up at the time. So since I'm out of stuff, I apologize again for it was a short notice modification to my program tonight. So I had to run through really quickly and pick out some stories that I thought were pertinent and that would be worthwhile. So unfortunately, wasn't a lot of good news, and I apologize for that. So I had used this as a learning experience for myself next time. Just in case, I'll have some backups ready to go and brief myself a little more about it as just before, you know, so that the show goes on without any kind of hiccups. And my co-host hopefully will be better by Monday, and we will have the cannabis special show detailing medical marijuana and its benefits that have been studied and have been proven, and maybe find ways that we can keep pushing the FDA and our legislators to do the right thing. Because it's not just for, you know, us, it's for other people who have had, you know, depression, anxiety, and PTSD and other things that medicinal marijuana is extremely helpful with. So we'll discuss that. Hopefully we can get that in on Monday. But until then, we will see you on Monday, 9 p.m., 2100 Central Standard. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate you watching. Take care of yourself. Take care of everybody around you. And we will see you next time. Good night.